What's good, YouTube? It's Adam from My Music Mobile. Welcome to a brand new video. Today we're gonna go ahead and remake from scratch Drake's I Don't Give a. Tempo for this track is 137 beats per minute, and the track is produced by BNYX and Sebastian Shah. Let's start off with the bass sound that we hear loop throughout the entire track. For this sound, we're gonna go ahead and bring in Logic's Retro Synth, and we're gonna work with the default setting that loads up here. For shape 1, we're going to turn it over to a noise oscillator. And for shape 2, we're going to leave it on that sawtooth. Let's go ahead and just put in that pattern, and then we'll manipulate the sound in a bit. Just going to add in a little stop right before the next hit. And the same on these ones as well. All right, now let's open up Logic's Retro Synth and just start shaping up that sound. So first thing we're gonna do is over on our mix, we're gonna push over to the sawtooth quite a bit. Let's pull up the cutoff here, and it's gonna make more sense in a moment, but let's just do that right now. We'll turn on a chorus. Next, let's go down to our settings and make this sound nice and wide. We're gonna pull up our voice detune here. Let's go ahead and pull up the amount of unison. Next, let's adjust our amp envelope here. We're just going to soften it up a little bit, so it's a little bit of a... Let's make this sustained. So what we're going to do here with this envelope over here, we're going to automate it so that it opens up as the note plays. To do that, we're going to go ahead into our MIDI region. We're going to hit A on our keyboard. And let's go to the Retro Synth. We're going to go to Filter. And we're going to do the Cut Off by Envelope. And let's go ahead and draw in. We're going to start off at 0. And basically what we're going to do is put another dot at the end of this note. And we're going to make this rise up. So it's going to be something like this. So it's going to go up to like about, let's say, 50-ish. It's going to drop back down maybe midway through the note, and then it's going to build back up again. All right, so it sounds like this. The next thing we're going to do is going to open up an EQ, and we're just going to take out some of the low end so that doesn't affect our other basses that we're going to put in. All right, next, let's get to that second bass. We're going to do software instrument track. And once again, we're going to bring in Logic's Retro Synth. And for this, we're going to bring in a preset. We're going to go to, it's off my screen here, but we're going to go to Synth Bass. And we're going to go over to the Synced Metal Bass preset right here. And let's go and just copy down this pattern. We won't copy the automation on this one. What we gotta do here is just pull that up 1 octave. I'm gonna highlight all of my notes. I'm gonna pitch it up 1 octave. And then we're gonna open up Logic's Retro Synth, and we're really gonna open up this cutoff here. Kind of want that buzziness in there. And I'm just gonna blend it with the other one. Next, let's bring in that third bass just to layer this and bring it all together. For that, I'm going to go over to the deconstructed For All the Dogs kit I just put together. Link will be down below. I'm going to go over to the For All the Dogs deconstructed kit. I'm going to go to the I Don't Give a 7 track number 7. And I'm going to bring in that main bass one shot. I'm going to drag that in. We're going to go over to Drum Machine Designer. And once again, we're going to copy down the same pattern. It's going to sound like this. And that's just going to bring everything together. Now on this bass, I'm just going to cut out a little bit of the low end as well. because we're going to bring in an 808 later on and I don't want them to clash. Now let's bring in those leads. We create a new software instrument track, and once again we're going to bring in Logic's Retro Synth. We're going to bring in a preset here. We're going to go over to our synth leads, and the preset I want to bring in is the simple analog lead right here. We'll adjust the sound in a moment. Let's just draw on the pattern. Now I want these notes to glide into each other. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to drag it over a little bit so it overlaps each note. I'm going to take that. I'm just going to duplicate that over. Now let's open up RetroSynth and get to some sound design. Once again, we're going to bring our shape 1 to a noise oscillator here. But we're going to drag over this down once again to the oscillator 2 here. Let's add in a chorus. Next, let's adjust this envelope filter right here. Now let's layer up that lead. We can create a new software instrument track. And once again, we are going to bring in Logic's Retro Synth. We're going to go over to a preset, once again, a synth lead, and we're going to go over to the tempo maker preset. We're going to copy down this. Just layer the two together, except I forgot something on this one. Because we stretched out the notes, I want to make sure that they are gliding, all oscillators. And we can make this one glide as well. I'm going to go ahead and group these two together. We're going to open up an EQ. And I'm just going to take out a lot of the low end here. A little bit of the top end. And let's bring in some reverb. We'll go to Logic Space Designer. Next, let's get to the drums. Let's go back to the deconstructed kit here. Where is it? For all the dogs, deconstructed kit, tracks number 7. We'll start off with the clap. So I'm going to drag that into my drum machine designer right here. And let's go ahead and draw in that pattern. Copy that over. Next, let's bring in a hi-hat. Bring that into our drum machine designer. And let's draw in that pattern. It's a really simple pattern, a classic Yeat one. Next, let's bring in that open hat. Now, let's get to that kick. Just take out the second half here. So for this kick, I'm actually going to duplicate this pattern over. Let's copy the automation. This is going to change up on the second half. It's going to go something like this. So we get a little stutter right over here. Actually, that's over there. Now, let's bring in that 808. So this one's really easy. I'm just going to copy over the same bass pattern here and just pitch it down to the appropriate octave. Now the kick and the 808 are clashing a little bit. So for our 808, we're just going to make it a little bit darker. We're bringing in EQ. We just want really the bass part. Because on the other bass tracks, we cut out that low end. So this is going to really fill that bottom end out. And then for our kick, we're going to just take out what we sort of cut out from the 808. So anything above like 80, let's say. That's better. Next, we're going to bring in a classic 80s bass line. So for that, we're going to create a new software instrument track once again. I'm going to go over to my library browser over here. We're going to go over to synthesizer. We're going to go over to bass. I'm going to bring in the preset, the classic funk boogie bass. Let's just draw on that pattern here. It's just one note really. Next is to bring in EQ to cut out that low end as well. Last but not least, let's bring in that wobble lead. We're going to create a new software instrument track. And once again, we are going to pull up our instrument of choice for this one, the retro synth. We're going to start off with the default setting that loads up here. For our first shape over here, we're going to go over to a square wave. Our second shape will be a sawtooth, but we're just going to pull up our oscillator mix over to oscillator 1, kind of about this level right here. And let's draw on that pattern, and then we'll adjust the sound further. And then we're going to get like this pitched wobble effect. So for that, I'm just going to go over to my brush tool. I'm going to change over to a 16th triplet. And we're just going to go something like this. All right, just like that. And then we'll draw in our last note right here. We're going to duplicate this over, and this last one will be pitched up. Now, let's get to that sound design. So we're going to start off with the filter section right here. I'm going to go over and change it to a bandpass filter. Just going to reset this envelope filter here. I want like a really nasally, mid-rangey type of sound. Add some resonance. Next, let's bring in a chorus. Let's add in a little bit of glide for the notes. And finally, on our amp envelope, we're just going to shape it a little bit. We'll slow down the attack a bit. And last but not least, let's just clean this up with some EQ. All right, so now I'm just gonna go mix it, arrange it, and when we come back, we'll take a listen to the track we just put together from scratch, Drake's I Don't Give a featuring Yeat. Let's get it. right there is how you make Drake's I Don't Give A featuring Yeat. For Logic users out there, I'm gonna go ahead and save this entire session for you, place it as a downloadable link below this video. If you don't use Logic, I got your back as well. I'm gonna export all the MIDI stems, audio stems, and of course include the drum kit that you heard in this remake. You can find that playback down below the like button as well. Also linked below will be the Drake for All the Dogs deconstructed drum kit. But other than that, if you do have a question on this, we can go chat in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Later. Peace.